Yes, welcome to Keeping the Ball on the Ground. Thank fuck we've got rid of him eventually, man.
Offers nothing.
Just me and you, mate.
Offers absolutely nothing.
Where is he?
Mate, he picks me up every week, doesn't he? And he was like,
But what did you say the motor's usually humming it?
Stinking, mate.
What?
Bars. No, mate, but he picks me up every week and he said to us...
Sorry, Stanley. Did I miss you?
Where are you, big man?
Where have you been, man?
No believe this,
Mate,
boys.
seriously, but that's embarrassing. It's pissing down the day.
No, I know, but wait to hear this.
Shambles, man.
I've just picked up a bloody drop off at the Barrowlands there.
Right.
Got to buy some Stone Island gear.
Who is it?
Kieran Tierney.
Is it?
Fucking Tierney.
I just seen you doing the bar, it's fine, innit? What's happening, Kev?
How come yours has got more baubles than his?
I went 40 quid, he went 20, yeah. There's a difference, man.
What's happening, mate, alright?
All good, man. Pleasure to be here.
See you nervous? Mate?
I'm very nervous, mate. No,
Let's see your arm.
What?
Let's see your arm.
I'm alright now.
Oh, shit!
How's yours?
Oh, well, push. Nah, to be fair, this is probably, for me, the biggest one we've ever had, Si, innit?
I've heard him say a good few
Best
times.
player in the world, mate.
I wish, to be fair, we had got Robbo in, but...
What is it, your pals take Robbo's pals' balls off?
That was the word in the street, but I didn't say that,
Kev, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good.
I need to say, you can't even go for a kebab, mate, without somebody taking your picture.
That's shocking,
That's terrible.
I was down at the fort. I had a charity golf day Saturday. She had to wear something yellow for
You'd have looked
the beats and cancer. So I went to the fort. I was on the way home. Couldn't find one. I saw El Tasso or whatever it's called, tassels. They do an alright kebab, by the way. So I thought, I'll have a quick one of them before the golf. So I'm take a picture of me, put it on Twitter. 200 likes.
That's horrible, innit?
I know, but the funny thing was that you were just coming to Nando's when you went into the kebab.
That was the pudding.
Slaney, John Higgins, man, he was speaking about open goal on. Done a 147 at the Crucible, went into the changing room and watched.
What was his, can you just say what was his statement after it? What he said?
He watched the open goal podcast.
He said just Si-Ferry podcast,
he did say...
We had a couple of bums, didn't we?
We're just here to make up the numbers, Slaney.
Mate, seriously, see, genuinely, it was going to be an amazing show today, but we'll get the neck of the foot to buy with the Cameroon vest last week. How bad did they look?
You looked horrendous.
Mate, honestly, mate, for 2 days I just felt disgusting with myself. See the white arms and all that swinging about. What am I doing? I used to be cool, man, and walked in with that vest.
When were you cool?
I used to be cool.
But mate, see when I walked down, right, I watched it back, like I've walked down and just sat down. Like I never even done anything. Ah, mate, look crap.
Well, you were buzzing, the pits were buzzing as well, weren't they?
Ah, mate, but as I said, I've been speaking to a genuine psychologist now, and
give him a shout because you're the hero, eh?
unbelievable guy. That's what he said to me. He's like, you're normal. He's like, but the other 10 heads in you, aren't they? But no, but he was being.
Was he talking about your white heads or the heads?
But he said that, he went like that. So it's a true story. He said to his phone, he was like, open goal's no good for you. He's like, you get ripped to shreds on that show every week. You need to stay away from it. So cut that out. That was crap.
We've got a giveaway for the viewers watching us as well. Kieran Tierney's jersey is going to be signed. And also the Tesco bag that you had at the game. What game was it? He's donated it.
Sheffield in the cup, eh?
Sheffield in the cup. So we've got
quarter final.
Nigel Winterburn slips. Smell like Lee Dixon. We've got, what else have we got in here? Best of the Celtic view.
He's let the go at that.
This is his bag.
What a bag, mate, I brought it with me.
Sakes, Look what we've got.
Alberto Balsam.
Was that a gift for Lenny?
Aye, it was.
What else have we got here? Tusk.
Aye.
And I thought you were metals.
Right, where's this going?
No, do you wear metals?
Aye.
We've got your rubbers.
I knew it was going there.
So, we'll play a competition on Twitter to see who can win the Tesco bag and the jersey. We need to get a shout out to the FVF Club where we are as well. Stores opening this weekend.
Unreal, eh?
Just don't buy the Cameroon.
Is that on sale? Has it been much?
Oh, mate. I think somebody messaged the owner of the shop saying, was it actual stinking? Before I buy it.
And also minted as well. New ice cream shop on the West End.
Brilliant.
I've not been in there yet, but I hit past it a few times.
There's a jammy dodger one. Mate, heaven.
Nice, aye.
So get yourselves in. There we go. Right, on with the show. In fact, you've got a John Higgins story, haven't you?
You want me to say
I love this story, mate.
This is the best story in the world.
Is that aye?
It was after I think it was one of the cup finals, my first like
one of the cup finals because he's played in so many.
Rogers first season, right? I can't remember somebody's testimonial. John Higgins had played at Celtic Park. Do you remember what year it was?
Charity game or something?
It was a charity game. It was only a couple of years ago. And then they were all at the tenants factory after it, and Bruni was there as well. And I picked him up. Me and my mate Jamie picked him up. And then a lot of the boys in the team, like wee Callan and that, were in Light. So I was like, we'll just go there and meet them. John Higgins, I'm not going to Light.
Cal McGregor?
He was there. Me, Bruni, Jamie and John Higgins were in my mum. Right, we'll just go, see what it's like. Jumped in, like Cal and that are buzzing. Like Cal's Stephen, man, it's good though. But walk in and it's the 40s, right? So Cal's obviously not expecting John Higgins to walk into Light. Doesn't think any of it. He's maybe a bit dark in there or something. So he gets him in that head, like, what's happening? I've not seen you in ages and all that, right? And like, John Higgins gives him that look as if to say, like, I've not seen you ever. Like, I've not actually met you. And then I don't know if he maybe gives him like I just want to look, because like, not expecting it. And I heard Cal going like, what the fuck's up with Katie's dad? He was sure, really. And he's like, it's not Katie's dad, mate, that's John Higgins. I thought I brought my dad to Light. I see my dad every week in the players' lounge and you thought it was John Higgins.
Your dad does all of them, didn't he?
Did you not see John Higgins was raging back because he got with a pure headlock?
It was a decent headlock,
Did you see John Higgins was fuming, didn't you?
Nah, I don't think he was fuming, man. But after that it was funny as end because he told him how.
Yogurts.
Right, what about the brands on this man now? Ralph Lauren, Stone Island,
Ralph Lauren,
Stans. Where'd you get your trousers?
TK Maxx.
Your dad's been buying you hundreds of gear, isn't it?
That's what I got. My dad came in the other day and it was like 50 quid, £30 free piece.
Just trying to see what the make of the hat is. That Tommy Hill, what banger, what do you call it?
I mean, my dad sort of out with a club and I said this, he's been watching it and he just said, like, you need to fucking scrub yourself up. So mate, I'm looking amazing at now.
Has he been watching it?
I say he loves it.
Brilliant.
See, they can tell I'm nervous but I didn't show you. See, they can see that in me, aye. See, I'm letting the slings down.
No.
We went out for a pint and we all wore casual gear, mate. He turned up with a three-piece suit on, an overcoat and brown plastic bros.
Like terrible, wasn't it?
Oh, what a man.
What about that bird I pulled up that night?
Decent.
Unreal.
Right, mate, Arsenal. Flying, eh? FA Cup winner. What a season
good.
for you?
At the end of the season, after lockdown, I think lockdown was honestly the best thing that happened. I was coming back just before it. We had obviously Man City and Brighton, and I was coming back to the Brighton game before for my shoulder injury, but I was always playing catch up because they're all fit, match fit. I hadn't played regularly for about a year or something, and then everybody had 3 months off and came back the same. So probably the best thing that happened. And the manager played me Man City away first game, and then every other game I got a lot of game time in that.
See, when you first went down as a standard, a joke,
Aye, mate, it was mental.
What, 5-a-sides and...
Aye, so one of the first possession drills, mate, I'm like, I am miles off this, like, even pressing's not working for me today.
See, what is the big difference for Scottish football, English football, do you think?
It's hard, mate, like, I don't know the biggest difference, but for me, going into the first couple of training sessions, it was the tempo.
Was it?
Aye, like...
Technically as well?
Aye, technically.
Scanning.
Aye, scanning. Scanning, honestly, mate, the first session, I was against Martinelli. I was like, he's a young boy, 18, like, he was quick and I knew he was good. And I was like, wow, like, this is a standard, man. He is unbelievable. Like, even running back away, like, I would just run up and he would be following me. I'm like, what are you doing running back here?
Oh, so he would run
Aye,
back
mate,
as well,
like,
would you?
The effort and the attitude and that's unreal. And probably the biggest thing is the technique. Like, I've not been gifted with that, but I was like, I'll run, I'll tackle, but that's not even working, man. So
Who's the best? Who was the best?
The best, mate. See, all the young boys are unbelievable. Like,
That's
see
Saka and that.
Aye, Saka, like, see Joe Willock and all that. See their technique, it's incredible, man. Like, for young players, I've never
See,
seen
when
it.
you watch, but when you watch it for a fan, English football, I feel, is slower than Scottish football, but is that not true at all? Isn't it? But do you
I
think
think their time on the ball, that.
I think so. I think they give you more respect.
People
Maybe
say
goes
aye.
flying in.
See,
tactical,
you see
isn't
if one or two they go and press and the other ones don't, the people just pass it around you. So you can only press if it's like 100% on to press and everybody's in the same brain. If one or two go, I'm going to press, the team are going to just play it around you because everybody's going to play.
He didn't get AstroTurf pictures in there.
Shocking.
Well, Arteta's got one on his nut, doesn't he? His hair is AstroTurf, man, I'm convinced. Kev, FA Cup final, you watch it?
I did, aye.
Brilliant, wasn't it?
Like, when you're playing English football, the kind of pinnacle is when they get into an FA Cup final at Wembley, the home of football, but what was that experience like with no fans there?
It was weird, mate. I was kind of gutted because your family and your mates and that would love to go and the fans, like, you don't always win a trophy every year, and to get to a cup final and
You do.
I mean, as a start, innit? Have you won a cup every year you've played?
Aye, I've only played 4 years or something.
Aye, but
Still,
4 years worth of trophies.
That's
I played
amazing,
for
innit?
17 years and won nothing. No, sorry, I did. I won the championship.
Did you win the championship?
Aye.
How good was that day for? Mate, a bar mate. You're in a bar mate, aren't you? Like that, innit?
Mate, long balls, eh?
He
Well,
must
mate,
love that.
everyone, it's not just a long bottle, is it?
No,
See, was that a tactic?
100%. Like, we know if it depends if teams are pressing high, teams are going low, and his pace, mate, he's the quickest player I've ever seen in my life.
Is he?
Aye, like Mbappe was always the quickest, I say, but he's just as quick, man. Like, he's frightening. If the ball's in behind, he's running onto it, and he's like, see the one Man City, like I've played out there when he scored. Like, see his touch just to go in and take it on his right, and he still gets the chance to look up and square it, and then just like, puts it through the keeper's legs, mate. That's unbelievable.
He is a player.
Player.
innit?
That's
We've
incredible.
said that for years, but Aubameyang hasn't had that. Do you know what I mean? Because that's what we were talking about last week, a couple of weeks with Charlie. Like, strikers would love the boys, but new teams are popping it about and
all
they're
the
not
time.
getting that. So if Aubameyang, you're taking a big chunk of his game out if you're just passing inside. So a player like you, he'll absolutely love, I think. Do you know what I
Mate,
mean?
that's
mate?
good analysis, man.
I mean, I
You're
know.
spot on.
So that's what I was saying to Charlie, and I've spoke to Charlie on the phone since, and gave him a bit because I'm sick of what he's talking about. And but that side, and I watched. Listen, I know it's about Tierney today, and it's not about me, and it's and it's not about. I watched Man City the other day, and I'm starting to now believe that the real game's coming back.
That's what I like
Guys
about
him
Arteta,
taking it
isn't
in
it?
England. Listen, he's taking it in England. I'm seeing the whole. What he's done, what he done at Celtic, he's doing that Arsenal now, proper players. And listen, there's a time to play it, but at the moment, it's starting to fade out the game, and I'm very happy about it.
But see, Guardiola's team is always passing it. That's what I like about Arteta, mate. Sometimes they do just.
Mate, Klopp does the
sit down
exact same.
behind.
And
Liverpool did
the
the same because when I was playing against them, it was always like we'd done analysis. I was watching. Like, Virgil would always try and play it out
To
to
Mane.
Salah or Mane, like it always.
And players will love that.
And
Do you
that
know
makes
what I mean?
us go a bit deeper, then gives them room to play, if you know what I mean? Because we're always
100%,
thinking about
mate.
the long ball.
Who drives the Arsenal bus?
What do you mean?
Somebody wants a job.
Can I help? Keith, sorry, can I just say, see, down there, what's the changing room like? The banter and that? Because it's say like, I heard you and Bruni were horrible to boys. In a good way, like you were the ones that had the fill of the banter, but doing Arsenal, is it totally different?
Aye, it's totally different. Even when I was leaving, Lennon said that to me. He said, just don't expect anything. Just go down there with an open mind. Like, it's going to be different. It'll take a while getting used to it. It does, to be fair. Like the culture's different. It's a different city. It's a different, like the main. There's a core group of Scottish boys at Celtic, so it's obviously going to be kind of Scottish run. But down here, there's different nationalities. There's different.
That must be so hard to settle into that.
Aye, and
Who's funny? Look, Big Louise looks like a.
he's a legend, mate.
Is
The
he?
biggest legend ever. I love him.
Is he, aye?
Aye, like, he's so good with all the young boys and everybody loves him. Like, he's a proper leader. Like, even if he's not got the armband, he still leads.
Who helped you settle in? Missed.
Probably Bellerin, mate.
Mate, he is gorgeous, man.
He's cool, isn't he?
Oh,
Your
he's
missus
so
loves
cool.
Bellerin, doesn't she?
She loves him.
He's a cool guy, man.
What's he like with his clothes on?
I don't want to talk about that, mate. Confidence is low enough the now, so we'll not talk about that.
Who else were you tight with? I hate hearing that you're tight with boys, but who else?
No, to be fair, Bellerin at the start, because I was injured and he was still injured, come back for his ACL and that, so him at the start, and obviously you get the English boys like Rob Holden
I was
and
disappointed with that. Chambers and Holden. I think you're bigger than them.
Who you want to hang about?
I'd love to see you just coming out of Aubameyang's motor and that, just doing that in the camera. Yeah, mate, what a picture that
That was brilliant, wasn't it? Who was that? Did Nigel Winterburn?
No, that was the name, mate. The kit man, it was.
It was Nigel Winterburn.
Mate, Arsenal fans love it too, innit? They've not had, I bet they've not had a player like that ever. Well, since like the Tony Adams days.
And that's, listen, I was going to say it. I love sitting up your arse. I love it. I do, listen, I love it. You always know when a guest comes on a day, but especially with guys
Who
like
would you
Sam
rather
Martin.
sit in there, him or Jamesy Forrest?
Him, 100%. Jade Forrest in Scotland, no thanks to me. But no, but what I was saying was, with you, Katie, with the... Listen, Arteta has made a big change, but there's no... since you've come in, there's been a big difference. And I'll tell you exactly why. Arteta was there when you played Aston Villa, you were on the bench, get beat again in the run. So it just shows you that mentality, and you've got that, and you need that. We keep talking, you said technically, we're good. Again, me and you spoke to Charlie about it, he said up to 16 technically. Charlie, you've got to have that. Do you know what I mean? I had it in abundance.
Who you did?
Aye, and up there. And you must have that, and this guy's totally, I believe so, it's changed the mentality Arsenal, and do you know what I mean?
I would totally agree with you, Slaney. I think sometimes, as good as you are up here to us in Scotland, and we all appreciated what you did for Scotland, Celtic, everyone else, you're like, to me, it's like a fish out of water going to Arsenal. Like the wee Scottish guy getting into that big club, big players, big names. But you look like you've the guy that's went in there and kind of just made everybody fan of you. And you've just stuck to what you do best, that got you there in the first place. And the Arsenal players, they now realise that, I would imagine that they knew walk on, I think that's wee Tierney. Like, probably at the beginning think, who's this guy we've signed? Well, it's probably the other way around now. This is why we've signed him.
Arteta came out and said a great point to say he wishes every player was like him, which is unbelievable.
By the way, they two are so far up your arse you can only see their toenails, aren't you?
Right, that's right. He's getting pure jealous.
No, I'm all for it, mate, I'm all for it. Right, the Tesco bag, talk us through it.
I don't think it's that bad. I get slagged rotten, but it was sound.
Who slagged you, the boys like?
Aye, the boys and on the internet, man.
What was it, is that your toilet bag?
Aye, there's some toys, but it was my boots, man. So we obviously started like, this, you have to carry all your own stuff, like your own boots and that. And I'm not sitting washing my boots every day, so just for boots for training yesterday stinking. I was like, get him in that Tesco bag, wrap it up. I think there was a bit of chocolate in there, I know, actually, for after the game.
You love that, didn't you?
Are you opening that chocolate, is it just going to sit there?
I bought it for him, he didn't want it, didn't you know?
It's not the best, man. I just like the plain chocolate.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, do you shout at boys and that down there or when you're playing?
Nah, mate, I'm not being one for shouting like, you should do this, should do that. Like, I'll talk, like, I like to, if I need them to cover or to run or whatever it is, but I'm no...
You absolutely obliterated that goalie, so I don't know why you're saying that. In the final, he was shaking. I seen him.
He's some goalie, by the way.
Unbelievable, what a guy. He helped me
mate, he was
big
great,
time,
wasn't he?
Man. Aye.
After that, I was
he
nearly
deserved that, man.
What's his story? He's been out on loan 8 times or something?
Aye, so he's been out on loan, and I think he joined when he was 16, 17, and I think the main reason he joined was obviously like his family didn't have a lot of money back home, and he said like, I done it for them, I came. And he missed time, like he was 17, man. Imagine going from like Argentina to England and not getting first team, and then for the last 10 years been out like 7, 8 times, man. He was close to go to Celtic as well.
Was he, right?
On loan, aye. He said he'd let Celtic been in touch with him. And then coming back, and obviously like Leno was brilliant, like a brilliant keeper for us. And people maybe thought like, oh no, like, he's injured for a while. But he's came in, mate, and done look brilliant.
He's a good keeper, man.
And he's deserved
What's
that.
the poor area, that place he's for Motherwell?
What a poor... Your house is up there, innit, man?
Do you go back? Have you been back up in the summer up to the, what is it, the Miners Club?
What, mate, the Motherwell Miners?
Where'd you drink?
The Bullfrog, mate.
The Bullfrog?
Aye.
Oh, the team folded too, didn't they?
Aye.
What happened?
You were down your boots, didn't you?
Too many daggers out to get us, mate. Too many teams didn't make us.
You know, donate money to them now?
I used to get the strips and the balls and all that, aye, but when I went, it kind of crumbled me. I coached them, Coached them every week.
Oh, you got it in the session.
Come on, then, goes it. Shows what you're showing them.
King of the ring, rondos, cross the finish, mate. Simple as that. Sunday fit, but I don't need to complicate it.
Need to ask you as well, what's Arteta's coaching like?
Brilliant.
Is it like Guardiola, is it?
Aye, well, I don't obviously know what his is like, but you can just see like what you know for Guardiola, what he says in the touchline, it's all brilliant. And see the way, we'll do a video meeting most mornings.
Do you? Aye,
like
about what, training?
About what we're going to do in training, and because if we're coming up against this team who play like that, we'll work on that like 100%. And he literally tells you how the game's going to go, like this is what they're going to do. If he presses you past there, if he he can talk you through a game before it happens. Wow. It just makes your job so much easier when you're on the pitch. Like, you know, if the winger's pressing, you're fine, and it's good, man. It's like one brain, the full team.
Did you not do that at Clyde?
Wee Barry had his all set up.
What was the videos you were watching?
I was going to say something horrific.
Did you do video analysis at Sunderland?
Nah, we would only ever do one like maybe on a Friday before the game to get an indication of what you're up against. The odd corner or free kick that they would work on, you think they might try this corner today, but and then you would get the like you would video analysis on a Monday when you were stinking. You're sitting on a Sunday morning on a Sunday when you're getting the right act. But the days of a manager turning up, taking the team on a Saturday and batting on or finish with. Used to say like the assistant, you go and take the train today, I'll come out and watch and that'll be it. We'll sort the tactics out on a Friday, Saturday. Whereas now, what obviously Kieran's saying, watching a video every day on your team, that's really
top level.
That's top level stuff. That's I don't know how I would feel in the modern day if somebody put a video in front of me at 9 o'clock in the morning to tell me how things are going to go on Saturday.
On a Monday,
on a Monday.
Oh, that's mad, isn't it?
Well, I think because we were in lockdown, so it was like every 3 days a game. The day after the game would be last night's game, the 2 days before would be, because one day you'd watch like how we're going to play, and then the next day you'd watch how they're going to play and stuff like that.
Would you pay attention to video analysis?
Mate, I remember we done it with Celtic one time, man. I was up the back. Who was up the back way? I farted. And
You just made that up right there, didn't you?
it never happened. Nah, but mate, I don't like all that, mate. Do you know what I mean? I don't like video analysis. It's boring, man, isn't it? Just like
He's like a 13-year-old boy there.
mate, just
Are you
like,
alright?
Nah, but you're just like, mate,
Take a bit of chocolate. You're looking low in sugar.
I always say,
Just play fit.
just play, mate, what I'm saying, I always used to say to coach, like, you talk about tactics, but if a boy goes by you and puts the top corner, like, we didn't see that in the video, mate, come on.
Willian's just joined as well, mate. What a player, man.
Unbelievable.
Would you think you could give it a good go next year?
Well, it's hard, mate, because he's only been here 7 months as manager, so it's going to take time. Like, I think everybody always tries to compare it to what Klopp's done to Liverpool, for where they were and how long it's took them. But the end of the season's promising. Like, we are confident going into next season that we can do a lot better than we did this year in the league. I think that's the main aim, to get up. Like Arsenal want to be Champions League. We luckily got kind of Europa by winning the FA Cup, but you need to be in Europe, and the fans want Champions League and the club need it.
Can I just say, mate, about the fans at Celtic and Arsenal, see at Celtic every game you must win, and after 5 minutes they're right on you. See Arsenal, is it the same?
Aye, because Arsenal's still massive. Like, all the Arsenal fans have had like the Invincibles and winning trophies. That's all they know. So it's still a massive pressure to win games. Obviously, like, if you're going away to Man City, like it's a lot harder. And maybe if you put up a good fight and show a good performance and maybe get beat, it's not acceptable. But they can understand Man City are one of the best teams in the world, or Liverpool and stuff like that.
So it's really sort of the exact same feeling?
Aye, it's still big pressure.
Because Arsenal's like the third biggest team in the Premier League, isn't they?
Aye.
Outside Man U.
I just felt sometimes with Arsenal fans that sometimes games were quite quiet for
No, but they're ruthless, so you know, watch that Arsenal fan TV after it. They're ruthless, mate.
Aye.
Kev, Arsenal, you like playing there, huh? Highbury,
Well, I played at the old Highbury, that was many years ago, but I've never been to the new stadium, but I'm pretty sure I can wangle a compliment after this. But no, I'm just getting back to Arsenal, talking about the change since Arteta come in. I think they're now in that position where Liverpool were when Klopp came in, steadied the ship, brought in a couple of players to try and help steady the ship, got the better players playing better. And I think now Arsenal's in a position where it's key to who they sign, where they go. So they get they're not looking now to sign 4 or 5 big names. It's 1 or 2 that's going to make the rest improve even more. And that's obviously what Liverpool did. Took chances when Mane coming from Southampton, Van Dijk coming from Southampton, and they've just went oof. Whereas I think Arsenal now, if they get the right couple of signings in, they could be. I'm not going to say no challenging, because there's no reason why they can't. Because Man City's having their off days. Liverpool, they're obviously going to go from strength to strength, but anybody, you only play each other twice down there. It's not like up here where you've got 4 times a season.
That's a pain in the balls.
It's a pain in the arse, whereas you actually look forward to that one away game to wherever it is you're going. You don't think, we don't need to come back here.
Yeah.
So no, I think Arsenal's on the right tracks, and they should be, side, because like they were saying earlier, they were a massive club, invincible season, winning Premier Leagues, all that, and every season Arsenal wins something. And then obviously Wenger, maybe, I don't know, overstayed his welcome, but maybe just I don't know, probably did overstay his welcome, but they've made the change and things are looking forward.
A couple of good evenings on the horizon for Arsenal. How was he when he came down?
For the gigs?
No, for you, did he not come down to your house?
Aye.
How was it?
Amazing, mate, man.
Nervous, so, weren't you?
Wasn't he nervous?
Who was he nervous about?
Talk about it.
No, he came down, mate, to the training ground, loved it, didn't you?
Met all the boys and all
Did
that.
you?
And,
no, you never.
I swear, mate.
You told me that.
I know, I didn't want to say in case you're raising because I never asked you, but what an experience.
Who did you meet?
Everybody, mate. Everybody.
Mertesacker was a joke, mate.
He was playing 2 touch and all that, wasn't he?
2 touch with Mertesacker.
What do you mean, a joke as in good?
Shambles. Nah, it's amazing, mate. It was just, what an experience, mate, and all the boys were loving us and all that a lot. To Emery at the time, need to get this boy in, Mary's cheering everybody up and all that. That's like, nah, mate, I can't really be bothered, you know what I mean?
Bro,
that's like, I can't be bothered, bro. I like to get back in the brew, mate, the job centre, you know what I mean? Get CBD.
Did he piss the bed?
I don't know, you need to ask Paul Tim.
Mate, I bought you a book, didn't I?
The chimp?
Oh,
I was in Barry's lap.
Mate, he came down, because I was letting him stay in my house, he came down, he said, I got you a wee something, right? And there was a book, it was the Chimp's Paradox, or whatever it's called.
Peters, aye.
I said, thanks very much. I didn't have the heart to tell him already had it. then see, like, when I was at training, he sent me a message like, yeah, dirty, like, you've already got that. He's like, you found that one.
I went and toasted something, man, and I moved something across and I just seen the book falling out. You actually hid it faced?
Aye, I did try to hide it.
Oh,
Is that true that you've never been into this? Is that made up?
No, I was at the start. I got asked after like my debut, I think that was, and I hadn't been into like the Central, and only since I've been in like 3-4 times, man, for a scran or something. But
That's it?
aye, I'm not going for coffee or something like that. Like people go in nice coffee places or rooftop bars, man. But
So where'd you stay? Essex or something?
North London, no, just next to the training ground, just in a flat.
What a life, eh?
amazing, mate.
I wouldn't make an arse it, so I'd be steaming all the time, would you?
Aye.
Is Arsenal's training ground still like the training ground they would have had like for forever years? They was the same one.
Next door, so Watford
Is it
are in that
something
one.
Colliery? No.
London Colney, aye.
It's beautiful, mate.
I played there.
Watford did it.
Watford
You
are
seen
next
Elton
door
John?
is.
Remember
No.
Nigel Pearson
Legend.
Did you hear the story?
Mate, he didn't get sacked because of the results, he got sacked because of fighting.
No, he put his balls on Elton John's piano.
Aye.
Fucking
Mate,
hell.
Elton John was like that. The two of them were styling each other because Nigel Pearson just got the job, so we wanted to style him. And Bosley kept touching his piano and Elton John was like that. Don't touch that piano again, I'm warning you. And I think Pearson was like that, wasn't he? I had the piano and Elton John went up the stairs, mate.
Like step bros on the drums.
Oh, brilliant. You still speak to Paddy Roberts?
Aye, so he's Middlesbrough, isn't he? He kind of kept him up. He scored a couple of goals at the end of the season, but aye, what a player, man.
Who'd you like better, Paddy Roberts or Slooney?
Is that, see the relationship, it looks brilliant in pictures and all that, but is it as good as it is?
Oh, he's brilliant on pictures.
Is it?
Aye, mate, we're close to be fair.
I think, mate, honestly, I'm not just saying this. I don't even think you like me, eh? He's just like dog shit.
Does he?
You really speak to me, don't you, sometimes?
No.
He took you away, no?
Ah, brilliant, eh?
Took Jerry in London, mate, what a gig that was.
Oh, tell us about that.
That was the best.
Story about that. So down in London's obviously different. Like I'd never been out in the crowd. I've been to see Jerry at Transmit and that, but you can't go out and stand. And then down at London, we'll go out and stand. It'll be brilliant. Like we'll put hats on and all that. And he didn't have a hat. He's like, somebody noticed me. Somebody noticed him, right? He's like,
No way, down in London?
I swear to God, somebody did notice. A couple of people. He's like, Slaney, like buzzing, he's a picture and that. He just whispered to me, he's like, I'm too big for this.
Mate, but can you see the
I'm
man
too big to stand outside.
Can you see the man of the Spurs fans? Yeah.
Go for it if you want.
Aye,
I can't
go
You
even
can take
remember.
it, but there was we were bouncing and with
Politan.
and two Spurs fans have come up and I was like, that's fucking Kieran Tierney. Like that, mate. Terrible accent. Fucking terrible. I hear you doing that one to the date. So Spurs fans were like trying to bump into him. Two of them, mate, right? But it was just me and him. So I was like, look, oh no, because it's two of them,
Shut
two of
yourself,
us, mate. He's turned round, mate, and I was away in the mosh pit.
Aye, you was away. I just been bouncing about.
Did he get off?
No, I bounced away, mate. I didn't want to stand with him. In case there was a fight, I was away in the mosh pit. Terrible story.
What about Transmit? So you got us backstage.
Amazing, mate.
Tell him a story. He ended up doing a shite in Stormzy's dressing room, didn't he?
I think Stormzy was here, wasn't he? He was embarrassed, man.
He's
You
on
remember
stage.
playing Heady tennis with Stormzy? Remember that?
He's
He
crew,
bought
aye.
that? Brilliant, he's like slimy, mate.
Brilliant. Right, mate, we'll go to your time at Celtic.
Right.
I love this story. Talk us through how you got in the first team. This is like an urban myth, this story. I've heard a few different versions.
So what's your version? What have you heard?
The version was that you'd been told you could go. The reserves were playing that day. You
At
hadn't even made the
16 I got
squad.
told, aye.
You hadn't even made the squad, so you were the only person left to go and train with the first team.
Aye, that's true. So I was,
Wow.
I was like 4th or 5th choice left back for the 20s, and
Nah.
we'll go back to what you go to school 3rd and 4th year, so St Ninians, and then everybody's getting contracts and that, or the expenses like one year or 2 or 3 year, and I get 1 year expenses in the end. But before that, I was like, I'm going to get a job with my dad or something, and Gordon Young was the Motherwell kind of head of youth at the time.
He's at Cove now, that's right, with Paul Hartley.
Aye, so he phoned my dad, always knows my dad for Muirhouse, and he's like, Kieran will start tomorrow against Rangers, like bring it with us, like we've heard he's not getting a deal and all that, like through whoever, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if that maybe triggered Celtic to give me a deal because then somebody offered, but I was like,
So you only got a 1 year deal at first?
1 year expenses, aye.
And other boys were getting 3 and 4 year deals in it?
Aye, so but yeah, I was never going to say no yet. Like, that's what I wanted was to play. And then they eventually gave me it, and I was buzzing, went in, signed, you got your t-shirt and all that. It was still a brilliant day. And then when I was 16, it was Aidan Markleduff was the left back, and he was playing ahead of me, but he went up to 20s. So I played for like 16s, I played in my own age group. And then when you're 17, you go to Lennoxtown, and it was like Joe Chalmers, Kyle Waters, Aidan Markleduff, and that. They were all making squads and playing in about the first team. And then one day, can't remember what game, it was probably just a normal league game. I think they all went and travelled with the 20s. I just get told that you come and train with sports science or whatever it is. And then it was like John Collins and Kendall and that, like we need another body. And went up and Dyla loved me, like after the session, like shoot my horn and all that. Like,
that's mad.
What were you, because Charlie said last week, he was like, when Tierney first session, you could tell right away. But what were you doing?
Mate, see one of my first sessions with Charlie, right? So you do boxes and like Kenny Ramsey and that are there. Yeah. I want to get in a picture with the first team. So I was like, I'll go in their box. I was like Charlie and Bruni and all that. I was like, I want to get in their box and try and get a couple of pictures with like first team. I'm buzzing, man. And then we were doing boxes, like, right, youngest in, so I was in. I was nervous as anything, mate, and you see how he just had the bib? I was like, trying to put it on, right? And as soon as I was trying to put it on, Charlie's like, foot scan, Fraser's doing, mate, right in front of the cameras. I was like, oh no. Everybody's like, is it cold today? Is it cold today? I was like, that's a horrible start, innit?
That's what you need to, innit?
Aye, mate, Charlie and Bruno are honestly the two best guys you could ever ask for, like going up to the first team. Like, they never gave you it easy, but it was always fair, it was funny, and they slagged you and that, but it's exactly what I wanted. Like, obviously I didn't want my pants pulled down, but just to be settled in.
After that first session, did Dyla say you're now with the first team all the time?
No, really, but after, as I say, shoot my horn, he was buzzing, mate. Like, I actually had a good session, and I was buzzing. Like, I've just trained with Celtic first team. It was just too good to be true at the time. And then now and then I'd be up and down with him.
But still no playing for the 20s?
No, still no playing, mate. Still no playing at all.
Can I ask who the manager of 20s was?
There was a few, but Stevie Frail at the time, mate, no joke.
Oh no,
not Stevie Frail. I think he told him not to play it.
No, he was one of the best coaches I've had, but eventually, a few weeks later, I ended up getting games with 20s, like Stevie Frail and that were brilliant at the time, man. But I just came up to Leicester as a wee guy, and nobody knew me. They knew Markleduff because he'd been playing 20s all the time. Yeah. Cal Waters and Joe Chalmers, they were good players, and I was just like, I hadn't done anything to be playing ahead of him, you know what I mean? I was just a wee guy.
See, but your first session, what was your mindset getting in? Because when I trained with the first team, my mindset was don't date and rang you day. No, you're never ever going to dating. So, and I think Charlie was saying, like, when you go in there, you should be thinking, I'm going to be the best player of the day. Do you know what I mean? But when I went in, listen, I was just trying to no date and rang. But what was your mindset?
See, cause I hadn't had time to think about it, mate. I thought I was going to get 4 fours, and I got told I'm like training with the first team.
And so when you get told that, were you like, oh no?
No, 100%. Aye, I think I did, man, to be fair.
Who?
I can't remember. Like, I know I was up against Darnell Fisher at the time, and he's hard as nails, mate. Like, he is solid, and like 2 years we're kind of going for it all the time. But that's brilliant. I love Darnell, man. He was good. And then I was 100% nervous, mate. Like, still nervous.
Seeing that session, were you properly like, did you feel I'm right on this today?
I was going for it. Like, I was trying to like take people on or cross it and
brilliant.
Like not let anybody by me. But like, I didn't think I'd do well. I was just trying. I think there was no expectation on me, which helped. It was just like, he's the only guy there like training. It wasn't like you deserve to be here.
If you're not called up with the 20s or the reserve squad and you go into the first team, so many people would crumble, mate. I would be one, because if you're believing I'm good enough for the 20s and you go into the first team, like, you'd be like, oh, they're going to slaughter me here. Do you know what I mean, mate?
So when was the time that they said to you, right, your first team then?
I think I'd played, so I was supposed to play in that Christmas, so that was like the start of the season, and by that Christmas I was training with him every day basically, and the first team had another tracksuit and I got one of them, so I was like, I'm not first team, I'm still in, no kick the ball and I'm in the change room with 20s. But I was like, I'm in a few squads. I made the bench against Ross County, I think, like just before Christmas or something, or just after Christmas. And then Ronnie Dyla said to me, like, you're going to start on Wednesday against Partick Thistle. I was like, buzzing, man, here we go. Like, but I think I was starting at left mid. And then the day after, like, I think there was a story that somebody forgot to turn the underground heating on, so we chained inside, and I like, slide tackled with metal studs on, broke my leg.
No way.
First, the day after I was meant to play Partick Thistle.
That's why you should have worn your rubbers.
Aye, it's handy I've got them now, man. But that was like, I was so high, like a day or two before I'd made the bench, I was like warming up, like, waving to my uncle and all that, waving my dad, this is brilliant, just warming up. And then the day after, I break my leg before I was meant to start. I obviously hadn't told anybody I was meant to start, because I don't tell anybody that stuff, but it was that high to that low. But
was your room still like Celtic posters or not?
Aye, I had Stephen Pearson's tap my wall,
Did you?
Aye.
Well, thanks for getting him, man.
Tell him who your screensaver is.
Bobo Balde, man.
Your screensaver?
Still Bobo Balde, aye.
Is your phone there?
Aye.
That's incredible.
You've killed me, man. But I've changed it now.
But mate, see when I was growing up, like, Larson, my hero, surely, like, Bob Baldy wasn't your hero.
No, Larson, everybody's hero, mate. Everybody's, I think that's like a given.
Bo wasn't
Yeah.
that, to be fair, wasn't
But
he?
aye, like I just, no, I tried to
What
play
the fuck
like
you doing
him,
with
but
Stephen Pearson's
I don't think
he was
I've
from
ever...
my
Oh, was he?
scheme
Right.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
He was from my area, so one day he came out of my house, gave me a pair of Puma Kings, man.
Oh, his feet were huge,
size
mate.
20,
Mr.
mate.
Polish, his boots, they were huge, man.
Aye. So I got that in a Stephen Pearson tart framed, man, in my room, and that's what I always had.
His boots had the quaver on the end as well, mate.
I know, Constantine used to give me a line.
No, it came up the other day actually. See when he came on against Hearts, Celtic were 2-0 down and 1-3-2.
Mate, I watched the 3-2 he scored,
man?
didn't he?
That was unbelievable.
Big Mick scored 2 as well,
Aye,
didn't he?
that
Is that
was class.
Tynecastle?
What a night,
Yeah,
man.
Tynecastle. I was in the stand that day.
Oh yeah?
600 quid
Were
winning,
you?
so I was going to fund up, mate.
Easy.
Brilliant.
That was unreal.
So what about the actual debut then? Was it Dundee?
I Dundee away, so I came on, like, I was on the bench with Chiefs and that, and I'd been on the bench the last few weeks, and they're like, you're going to get your debut today. I was like, no, don't say that, man. Like, nervous wreck.
That's it,
And then you get the kind of, like, come on in. I was like, oh, no. Nervous as anything, man. Then I was coming on, like, Stevie Wright was saying stuff to me, like, try to make, I can't remember what he said, but he was just trying to make me feel at ease. Came on 2-0 with her, like, my shirt tucked in, like, up here, man. Simon Cowden, man, stood in front of him, like, a wee skinny boy. Like, no, like, you could have just plucked anybody out of the crowd and just brung him on, and they'd have felt the same as me. And then, it was like a counter-attack, man, they scored 2-1. I'm like, no, please no, man. Just like, it was only 10 minutes, I was like, I can't concede 2 goals.
Oh.
And it was 2-1, it finished, and after the game, I'm going half my nut pure celebrating and all that, and people are like, we just beat Dundee 2. But we scraped by, man, and I'm like, in front of the crowd, man. But honestly, man, it was brilliant. And then I started against St Johnstone like 2 weeks later as well.
Amazing. Was Ronnie Daniel good, sorry?
No, it's just a wee one just from he'd see before you play with Celtic, were you in the Green Brigade? Is that a lot of nonsense?
No, I knew them and I sat like next to them, so I know a few of them, and there's 2 different groups, so the Green Brigade, and at the time it was like boys, or SMV they're called, and there's 2 different groups, and I was pals with both of them, obviously growing up, and then obviously going onto the pitch, and I had a connection with both of them.
So was all your mates in the...
Both of them, aye, like growing up, like all my mates were, and that's what I done, and go to the games, and like, see Motherwell away, like the game, it was pure mental and all the seats for it. Like, I think Hendo and all that played. He's a year above me, like, I was training him with a couple of weeks before, and I'm like, I'm here with like, all the madmen. Hendo's came on and Bruden scored, and I'm like, what am I doing, man?
See, just on Bruni and Charlie, any funny stories for us? Any you can remember? Dating Jamie Church on it, or
No, who's
security?
that? Nah, Charlie's the one to tell that, but I can't tell that, man.
I can't wait for him to come on and tell it.
Mate, he's the man, isn't he? Big Charlie.
Does Bruni like do people's rooms in that still, or has he stopped that now he's a bit older?
I stopped that, to be fair, but
Did he?
aye, a few rooms get turned upside down when I was there and all.
Who would be doing it? You?
Aye, to be fair, me and Brown would kick about, and Johnny was always up to something. Johnny Hayes, man.
Was he, huh?
He's a legend, aye.
Serious, mate.
Sorry on you go, mate.
See, there's a story actually about me and Bruni pranked Johnny, right? So, see how there was a rumour like people are selling Rangers tickets? We made up the rumour, like, Johnny, you've been caught selling. Like, Johnny didn't have them, I had all the time. Johnny didn't have any tickets, right? And we got Kendo and all that on board, so we're like Johnny, you're done, mate. The gaffer's raging, like, everybody's raging with you, like, the rumours out like you're selling tickets for 500 quid or whatever it is. He's like, it's not me, I swear it's not me, like, I'll show you who I gave, you know the guy I gave a ticket to, like, it's not me, like, I promise you. And me and Bruno are like, right, we'll see after. It was at Snacks at Dakota the night before the Rangers game. And then we're like, to Kendall, this is our room, so send Johnny here saying the manager wants to speak to him. And then, so it was a nervous wreck when we were doing, so we're like, we'll see you tomorrow, Johnny, right, pure nervous. And Kendall's like, Johnny Meir, it's like, the gaffer is reading me, like, people upstairs know about this and all that, like, it's a big thing for tomorrow, so the manager wants to speak to you, he's in room, like, 3-0, whatever it is. And like Kendall's like, he's on his way up. So me and Bruni are waiting for like 10 minutes to chapel door. I'm like, where is he? Like, he's nervous or something. And all you hear is like the slightest knock, like the slightest knock. He's like, he's probably hoping the gaffer's sleeping, man. Aye. And then we open, he's like, he absolutely shat himself, mate. He shat his pants. He's like, idiots, man, which he's the up for. I was so nervous. He's like, I had the last 10 minutes, I was on the phone at my agent. That's why I didn't chat the door. He's like, I need to get this stopped. Aye. He's like, the last 10 minutes, I was on the phone at my agent. That's why I've not been up.
Oh, sensational, man.
Brilliant.
So that was Rodgers, the first treble season with him, mate. Could you tell he was top class from now?
Aye, I think everybody could see. Your first meeting with him, he gave you this booklet. It's like what I'm all about and how I see us going, and we're all sitting there and like, poof, this is.
How many pages is it?
I don't know exactly, man, but it was a good flip chart. I think
You need to sit and read it, huh?
Aye, it was about like us and the visions and where we want to be, and how I'm going to work and a bit of background about all these coaching staff that he's brought in as well, so we knew each other. And it was like it was a horrible start though, we beat in Gibraltar. I was like, woofed.
What was that red? Fuck that booklet in the bin, man.
But we're doing 1-0, I'm like, what the hell just happened there, man? Like they guys were turning up to the games on mopeds and all that. Honestly, see driving away for the game, mate, they're keen on their fingers on their mopeds in the bus.
What one the day there?
No.
Can you?
I'll tell you, man, but I don't know.
Go tell it.
We played Beersheva. I don't know if that was that year or the year after in Israel. And then that was one of the most scariest atmospheres I've played in. And driving up to the game, there's thousands of people pure banging the bus, right? And I looked out and everybody's like, doing that. I'm like, what the hell are they doing? And I was like, Tom, what are they doing? And they're like, that just means like what the middle finger would mean to us. But you've got like 5,000 guys running about doing that to your bus. I was like, what's happening here? But then you go in, man, you couldn't see when you go and watch check your pitch before the game. Full, mate, just whistles the full time and obviously still doing that to you.
That's unreal, man. See, when you got beat that Red Imps game, is Rodgers the type that would he go mad?
No, and we all thought he would. After the game, I was next to Carl, I think. And I was like, he's going to kill us. Like, that's a terrible result, man. Like, we can't be getting beat. And he's like, we're going to take a hit for this. We'll take it together on the chin. We'll come out and take it. Like, I'll deal with it with the press. He's like, we'll make it right next week. And next week we did. We won 3-0 or something like that. But
so when did it start to turn for him? When did you know, like, you're flying? Was that the first unbeaten season,
Aye. So I think, mate, I knew before that game, we knew, like, obviously that was a massive disappointment. But after that, we played in the league, and I think I gave a penalty away to Jamie Walker, man. But he dived. He got done for diving after it.
Who was that?
Against
Jamie
Hearts.
Walker.
Oh, Jamie Walker.
So
right,
I've ran in like that, and he's fell, and the ref gave a penalty. And this was like the game after, a week after, I think. I'm like, this is stinking, man. I'm gonna get that. Like,
This is stinking.
and it was John Beaton, man, a big sapling beat on. Like, what you a penalty away for?
Set it up yourself.
Where'd I go for now?
I love how he set himself up for that. It's brilliant, isn't it?
But I was like, oh no, I'm going to get trapped 1-0 down. And we won the game 2-1. Like, Sinclair came on and scored, didn't he? Like, he came on,
So
he signed like half an hour into the game and came on half an hour to go. Scored the winner, but like, I was nervous, man. Like,
Mate, see Rodgers, did he cane boys? Like, if it was a bad training session or was
aye,
it like
could.
that?
Aye,
Did
could.
he, aye?
Aye, there was one session before a final. Or I think semi-final, was a big game coming up, and we weren't on it, and he just like, he's only on it today, like.
But would they individually go for him, do you know?
No, because I think, see, when we had a proper hard-working team. Like, Bruni wouldn't let anybody do that either. Like, Bruni and Cal, like, they ran the change room, that was like your captain, isn't that? Yeah. Like, they never let anybody slack, and there was never anybody.
What, would McGregor be like that as well, would he?
Cal's on it, man. Cal's like captain material, Cal will be captain.
What a player
man.
as well, eh?
Aye.
Scottish Cup final day, Kev, you remember that game?
Oh.
I was steaming in a bar in New York, man.
What one? What Scottish Cup?
Roger
final?
Scott.
It was amazing.
Big Craigie Gordon went down on his knees like he got a 147.
How good's that gift, man? You see?
In the hotel room.
But see that was to win the treble, wasn't it?
Aye.
That's the one you came back, wasn't it?
Brought him John, mate.
Aye,
Aye.
Who forearmed you?
Aye.
Was it Big Cosgrove?
No, Stockley.
it was
Jaden Stockley, man.
Yeah, so for that moment,
Jim Layton
just
team.
talk through for when you've left and come back. I just want to hear, because this is one of the best.
Aye. So the final, mate, it was like unbelievable day. It's like my first Scottish Cup final. This is brilliant. I think the sun was shining and all that.
With a baggy suit on, I seen.
Aye, very,
Shocking.
mate. Aye, it was stinking. I think I
was
had
it fair?
Simonovic's suit on, I think, man. Honestly, it was so baggy. And I hate suits. I look like a tramp in a suit, man.
Nah,
Honestly,
good, bro.
I don't put
What do you mean in a suit?
Hey, come on. What a game. We're 1-0 down, eh? Johnny Hayes scored. 1-0 down, then Stu Armstrong scored. I don't think they touched it, he scored. And like 5-10 minutes after that. 2 weeks before, mate, Stockley had elbowed me in the head. And Rodgers said, like, just watch, because he's going to try and elbow you, like, use his physicality and all that. And there was a throw in, boofed, and I knew my teeth, mate, were squint as anything, and my jaw was hanging. And I could hear Derek McKinney say, oh, get up, like, nothing's wrong with you. And I just kind of smiled at him, as if to say, like, mate, my teeth are facing the wrong way. There was like blood coming down here, and he just went, oh, like, he didn't say anything. He went, aye, maybe there is something up with you. And I just laid down. And then like Bruni and that came out, he's like, aye, they braces for 4 years worked well. Like, I was like, that's stinking, man. I knew my game as well, like, I couldn't bite down, like, my tooth was away back. My jaw was kind of like hanging at one side and all. And Johnny Hayes came up to me and said like, I hope you're all good, like, I wish you all the best. He was at Aberdeen at the time.
Imagine Johnny Hayes like that, you look terrible. That was when you'd know that you were...
You're honking. You look worse than Slaney.
So what, who took you to the dentist? Tim?
So, we went to the change room and my dentist, man, like his name's Arshad, like he came round the stairs.
Went to your dentist?
My actual dentist.
What, was it the game?
Aye, so not even the Celtic dentist, no nothing, like. So he just at the game and he's obviously goes to a game, he's like in a box and that, so he was sitting at the dugout and he ran down and he's like, I'm his dentist, I'll go and check him and that, and nobody's letting him in. And I just kind of went like, you need to like let him in, like he has to check me, and he's like, oof. See that when you're somebody's first reaction is like that, I'm like, this is bad, like, he's my dentist. And they let him in. He's like, we can stay and you can maybe, like, your tooth might fall out if you stay and your jaw might get worse, or you can come back with me, we can go try and get a quick operation and like we'll come back and try and for the celebrations hopefully. I said, we need to do that, like I can't move, can't speak, can't do anything. So he's got like this mad pulse or something, man, he's just rallying it. I think he's hanging in Govan, like near Govan. And he's just like, right, had jags and all that stuff, so I can't remember it. And I took a picture of before and after, like 10 minutes, my teeth were all squinting and he fixed them. And then we were running, like, we were driving back along and he's gone through red lights and all that, man. And we hear Rogic scored, so it's me, Jenny, the physio for Celtic, and him. And we're all going mental in the motor, and he's like beating the horn and all that. I'm like, right, brilliant. Got up to Hampden, like 10,000 Aberdeen fans are coming, man. And I've jumped to the motor, I'm like, oh shit.
They're shouting at you, know?
They're all shouting stuff at me, and I was like, get up, you. I'm like, just swung, mate. Run into the stadium, and I actually think it's Churchy, mate. Churchy's like, you go and lift the trophy, and I look up like the stairs, and it's like just Dembele, it's left to lift it or something. I'm up and I lifted it, like, I'm grabbing the badge, everyone's pouring out of me, mate, like greeting and everything. And you just hear like the loudest roar I've ever heard in my life, man. And it's the best broken jaw I've ever had, because I broke Tom Rogic and he scored. Like, it was the best tactical substitution ever, man. But
do you want to put your dentist out of business and give him a shout?
Just clicked there.
That's an amazing story, Tonic. What about that, man?
It just shows you, Si, what it means to somebody like him growing up as a Celtic fan to want to go and lift that Scottish. Was that your first one?
Aye.
To go and lift the first one, like a broken jaw. Many a grown man would have just stayed in the hospital and wanted a wee bit of morphine, but he, amazing. So I think we would, if we were on that same boat, we would do everything we possibly
could. What was Robert's cutting out your tap on for?
I think Charlie McGrew slayed him for that. I don't think Charlie was here at the time, but I remember in the group, Charlie was like, he's no dead. But he's going to tap him backwards. Charlie was like, he's no dead, mate. Like, or like we can or that, we're giving him a bit of no.
What did you do after that? Go out? You couldn't have went out.
I went out, mate. We went out. Aye.
Don't know what.
Can't remember.
Was that maybe the Callum McGregor?
No, I don't think so. Maybe it was like the day after that. But I think it was District or something we went that night. That was good, man.
Tremendous. Right, the Rangers games. You got a favourite?
Aye, the most probably underrated game, mate, in the world for me is you beat them 5-0 to win the league. Like, that's not talked about enough, man. Like, that's the best, it's the dream ever. Like, and then we get a flight to Tenerife after that, with just us.
Oh, the boys?
Aye, so a private jet, like the club had organised it. Well, it was a Jet 2 number, but it was like unbelievable, man. And it was like the best.
What were you like before a Celtic and Rangers game in the dressing room?
Nervous, mate, nervous wreck, man.
Are you?
Aye. Like,
do you know shouting that now?
No, like, I'm quiet, man, but just, I'm in the toilet non-stop, man. But before any game I'm nervous, but see that?
That season.
I just knew, and you know what's at stake. Even like, if you don't win, you're maybe going to win the league next week, but it's not the same. Like, you need to win this game.
Playing at Ibrox and Oldham, is it the...
It's better, mate. See, winning there is better.
That? Which, like, any game you ever play will touch that?
No, that's the biggest, I think, game in the world, mate, honestly.
Aye.
And if you win at Ibrox, then, like, you win 5-1 at Ibrox, like...
And like, let's think about it, when you grow up a Celtic fan your whole life, and you get an opportunity to beat Rangers at Ibrox, what can you be?
Mate, that team that Kev was, you see what, like, Dembele's unbelievable. You're doing Arsenal, Armstrong doing it.
I love Armstrong.
So if I think he's brilliant, he's very underrated. I think he'll go again, actually.
Brilliant.
Mate, and even Robert, I think, I'm actually surprised he's not went on, but mate, what a team he's were.
That was brilliant, mate. It was brilliant.
Did you always think you were going to win games? Just going into every game thinking we were going to win?
The mentality that Rodgers had gave us, like, we can win any game. Like,
yeah.
Obviously in Scotland.
PSG games.
Aye. 7-1. That was Emery's team, man.
Was it Emery's team, huh?
Hammered us. Must have seen me that night.
Just shouting good evening to you on the side, huh?
Does that team beat Martin O'Neill's 3-5-2?
Wow.
Does that team?
You've told me your answer before, so I just want to wait.
You've never asked me that.
I'll say no, just to be controversial, but you think yes?
I'll never say yes, mate, because that's the team I grew up watching, you know what I mean? So I can't even compare myself. They got to a European Cup final and that. And they won massive games when it was needed, and they done it in Europe and that. I think that was the thing we wanted to do the most. It would.
Why do you think you never worked in Europe?
Mate, Europe's hard now, like, I can't say what it was like back then, it's obviously still hard, but the Champions League is really hard, man. For a team in Scotland to do well in the Champions League is some achievement.
Is that hard now when you're playing Europa League with Arsenal? Because Europa League at Celtic, the atmosphere is electric, but at Arsenal, I don't know about Arsenal, but English teams kind of see the Europa League as a bit of a nuisance for them. So is that a bit hard to play in?
I know what you mean.
Thanks very much.
I'm glad he fucking knows what you mean.
I was stuck fucking up 2 minutes.
I think the Europa League's changed. The Europa League's changed now for English teams because it's a Champions League place now. Aye, so it actually means something.
Because Arsenal and Chelsea were in the final in it, weren't they, the year before?
I need my psychologist, bro.
You alright, mate? Get a bar of chocolate, need some sugar.
No, but
I think at the start, nobody wants, like, you want to be in the Champions League. Everybody wants to be in the Champions League, but see, as you get good results and then you qualify, last 52, then you're getting down and you're like, we can do something here, and it's just it's a big trophy, man.
Oh, mate, unbelievable.
Right, mate, Rodgers leaves. Did you know anything about it, or was it just a complete shock?
Not a clue, mate.
When did you first find it?
When I woke up the next morning, so like, as if it happened during the night, and then I was on PlayStation with my mates and all that, like. Aye. So the night before I was on PlayStation, and my mates are like, "Oh, this is what the rumour is." I'm like, "No chance that'll happen." I'll bet you anyway. Like, this isn't. I've never. If I thought we would have heard something, and it was just a surprise, mate. Like, nobody knew. I just knew when I woke up the next morning. My mum was like, "That's Rodgers away. Like, it's on the radio and all that now." And I was like, "Oof." Like,
What, you still staying with your mum and dad?
Aye.
Right,
I'm not moving it.
You bought my house back, didn't you?
Aye, when I got a first contract, I got a house. Aye.
Love that.
For you, your man, your dad?
Aye.
What a guy, eh?
Amazing, eh? Honestly, if I got that money, I'd buy my house off my man down and leave him a bit.
And knock it down.
Leave him homeless.
So did you speak to Rodgers now? No,
After a few days, I think he'd got in touch with all the boys and all that and said like it was a great few years we spent together, like, and it was a pleasure to work with you all, and everybody there was gutted because we were on the verge of like this and we didn't want anything getting in the way, but everybody knew what he'd done for us. Like, he changed us. Like you're saying, like Dembele, Roberts, Armstrong, but it was like his team and his era that made that. You know what I mean?
Well, Dembele when he came out.
But obviously the foundations are Dyla as well, because he brought me through, brought Armstrong through, Cal McGregor. Like, it's all like it's building blocks. Like, Dyla.
Sometimes managers don't get the credit for. Like when Dyla got sacked, Celtic fans were quite grateful that he got the sack. But ultimately, some of his foundations were the making of Rodgers' team.
Yeah.
So,
100%.
Mate, I played against Dylan's Celtic team. They were absolutely battered us. They were brilliant, man.
Did I play? No.
I think you played, mate. Celtic Park 6-0 at us.
No, I didn't.
I seen that.
No, mate, Azagiri scored 2, no. Did not miss a penalty for a hat-trick.
Beaton scored for like 35 yards,
man.
I remember watching you one night. Did you play one of your first early games against Fenerbahce on a Tuesday night?
Aye, Thursday night Europa League, man.
I know,
so it was Azagiri. I remember the 2 weeks before.
That only one of your first, like,
that was my fourth game, mate. Fourth game. So I'd played 2 league games when we'd already won the league, a cup game against Raith Rovers, and I think this was the next game. And like a week before, I was like sitting in my mate's house watching. I think it was Ajax. Celtic played, and Azagiri get sent off. And they're like, "Oh, you're in next week." And I'm like, "Shut up! Like, no chance that I'm sitting here with you're all bevied. Like, there's no chance in 2 weeks' time I'll be playing Fenerbahce." And then still training in the first team, but they signed like Tyler Blackett. I was like, he was obviously going to play. They've signed him for Man U. Like, I don't stand a chance. I'd kind of fell down again, like third rather than second after Azagiri, and Mulgrew was there, so I was like third or fourth. I was like, nah, no chance. Like, that's Europa League. I'm too young for that. Like, no. And then Azagiri said to me, like, the manager's thinking about playing you.
Azagiri told you that?
Aye, because he must have spoke to him, and like, the manager's like, he's thinking about playing you in the Fenerbahce game. I was like, oh no, like.
You played well.
Sure, mate.
You were blown out your arse with 20 to go, right?
Aye, I came off.
You did play very, very well.
I done alright, but I think it was the same. Like, there's no expectation on me to do well, so it's like anything I done was like.
Did that change with the pressure? Because you obviously became the fans' favourite. Did you find that hard every game? That the fact you were a fan's favourite, so you had to perform every week. Would you find that pressure hard?
Aye, but I feel like the only reason I could perform every week was because the fans were unreal with me. Like they had a song for me, singing about me. Like I had a connection with them. Like that's the reason I did play as well. And even when I didn't play as well, they would never build my back.
See through your good times and hard times, how much have me and Jamie helped you through it?
Massively. But I'd put Jamie off you. You put.
Nah, but see, your mates, are they a big help for you?
They're different, mate. Family and friends are different. You've got them for day one, and you know you can trust that there's obviously people there are going to be after you for who you are and stuff like that. But as long as you keep who you know is true, then
it's mad. When I went to Celtic, I ditched my mates and went right to, but then when I hit rock bottom, I got back with my mates and knew that I'm back up. I'm fucked up again.
See how you're saying there about like you've kept your mates and that and told you the hangers on as you were alluding to. How many times was it before he messaged you before you get in?
Your first time was unreal, but when we met, me, you and Jamie, they had the snooker suit on.
Oh aye.
We met to meet John.
That was obviously
meet John Higgins and he didn't turn up.
Aye, he did. Aye.
Right, I remember that.
Patched us.
Embarrassing, eh?
See, if he hadn't played for the first team, that would you still...
Oh, no. But we must have been at Celtic together.
Aye, we would have been, but I don't think I ever trained, mate. I was training.
Did you ever hear people speaking about him?
Myth?
No. Just himself.
See, on that, as a Gary, how was he? Because he was flying, mate, at one point, eh?
Aye.
And then you two, how was he with you?
See, I remember it, see, when I was growing up, man, at youth level, like, I would try to like, do that before the game and all that. See what he done, mate. Honestly, I copied him. Every boots he had, I was like, I can't get him, but I got the fake ones. But all the time I'd like walk out with him, I'd be buzzing off if I had number 3 because of him.
Right.
Did you go in the shower with your pants on?
Still do, mate.
That's terrible.
But he was my hero growing up, man. And I remember he gave me a pair of boots one time. I was like, oh, this is unreal. And I was buzzing and he helped me massively, to be fair. Like, it would have been easy for him to just no talk to me. Like, he's been playing for years at a high level and I've came and played. But he was brilliant, still talks to me now.
Charlie actually said that last week. Charlie was saying about you going to Arsenal. He was talking about Easy Gary, that Man U and Arsenal wanted him. At
one stage,
He was flying, that's what Charlie said. He was like, there was general interest in him, and then he got his injury and came back and was never the same. So sometimes you do need to take that chance regardless, do you know what I mean?
By the way, you've mentioned Charlie a lot today.
Need to stop it. Need to stop it, mate. How good was the 30 grand transplant? Superb.
Oh,
he's getting caned for it,
amazing.
rightly so.
I actually still can't believe that's a transplant.
I know, it's frightening, isn't it? Easily the best transplant of all time. What was that first game, Lenny? Tynecastle, last minute winner, Edward.
Unreal. Man, that was crazy, yeah. So, it was just everything about it. I think at the time, like we were saying, I don't think Lenny's going to go in the dugout this game, but he'll be in the next game for Hibs at the weekend, I think it was. And then he came in and he was getting like pelters off of Hearts fans. He was like that to me, when they boo you, like they're scared, they like just enjoy it, like, because they were booing me when I walked. I think I gave somebody a bad tackle or something like that, so I was getting it stinking. So like, just enjoy this, like enjoy every moment. I was just pure buzzing, mate, like everyone was buzzing about it. And I think that's why I kept keeping the ball away every time. I punted the ball off,
so
just looked at my
What did Lennon say to you when he first came in? What was his talk to you? So?
It was just like, forget the outside noise, they knew, like, this is us now. This is
there was a lot of pressure on Lenny, wasn't there, when he came
in? There was.
Because people were only happy when
he could only lose. Lenny could
100%.
only lose, you know what I mean? He had everything to lose and no much to gain.
Because
not many people would have took that on, mate.
No, the pressure was unbelievable and he's amazing. That's why my things, like, I wish I played for him longer. Like, I loved him. Like, see, I played Rangers with him. I was injured my full time with him. I was trying to play through injuries and all that, and I was horrible, man. But see the way he'd get you up for a game, like, Rangers game, that was crazy, man. Like,
because even when you know you're not as good a coach as Brett, because he's not a coach, Lenny, is he? He's a manager.
No.
So for the fact, exactly, the fact that he was wanting to come in and know that he wasn't as good as Rodgers says a lot about him.
And I think that would have been difficult because that was so ingrained into you for how long Rodgers was there for, maybe 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
So coming in and try, because I think Lennon did struggle with that at first because he was wanting to go more direct. So it would have been hard for him to change it. And as you said, it was really a no-win situation. You know what I mean, like,
I know you had.
He's won everything.
Can I stick that mannequin there instead of him? Just continue how he started.
I'm doing a bit of that.
Where's he later?
I think he's a bit of sports scene.
Radio.
Wait, where were we, Lenny?
Aye, just talked about how like, it was really a no-win situation there. Like, I think he's won everything. The way he's won it was amazing. So,
and we had to win the league and the treble still. All the pressure was on him.
That was after the Hearts game. You played Hibs
in the cup.
In the cup, wasn't it?
Aye.
I mean, what a horrible start that is.
Hearts away, Hibs away, mate. You've got everything to lose in these 2 games.
Played you that game, bro.
I was done, man. I was done.
No, but you were out for it. But you should graduate. I'm not going to tell you Lennon what to do, but I shouldn't have played you.
Aye,
if he's getting to say that, he can say it.
And then so you won the treble again?
Aye, but I couldn't play, mate. So the Aberdeen game, See that full year, I think like November or something, I got like pubis problems and here I had hernias, had fluid everywhere around about there and I was like, I couldn't get out of bed, couldn't walk. And I was still playing, like I was still trying to play through it. I was taking injections, man, like every game, 2 injections. I was taking painkillers.
What, just to play a game, 2 injections?
Aye, like mate, I was done. It was osteitis pubis I had, right? And it's a bad thing, like people have that for careers. And Johnny Hayes was like to me, like, my mates have retired with this, like this is bad, mate. Like,
I'll put me Johnny putting the fear into you.
Aye, I know.
Is that what you fucking hell, Johnny?
Nah, it's like ideal, my man. I've got hearts and hibs.
So is that what it is that's got you kicked you out of Arsenal, osteitis pubis?
Aye, so that was the start, and it started in November. I remember we played a few Europa League games. I played Motherwell away. I sat to like the officials, like, my groins, I didn't know it was pubes at the time, my groins are sore. Went for scans and there was a bit of fluid there and I just kept playing and playing. And Tom Rodgick, he had that similar, he's like, what are you doing, you idiot? Like, tell them you can't play, like this is bad, mate. I said, no, I need to play. And so November, I played all the way up to like Christmassy time. I think I missed like Christmas Eve and all that, the Christmas Eve game and the Rangers game round about that time. And after the bye, I was like, I'll try and get back in. And I was like, I can't even run, mate. Like, couldn't do much. I was running about 60-70%, taking injections, getting injections in here, like steroid ones and that. I was like, I'm done. Like, honestly, retirement was a rumour flying about. I was like, this is mental. Like,
Johnny Hayes was buzzing.
Aye. He did say many tickets, didn't he? He starts all sorts of rumours.
Because he's going to start life back, innit?
Because I done him with the ticket thing, he's like, you're retiring.
How many games did you play, Pappy Celtic, went for a young age?
Aye, I think the season 4 was a killer. Like,
it was a start,
60 games, mate. The most in world football or something. And then that season Cal had it.
McGregor's the same, isn't he?
Aye. But honestly, mate, I was coming up and I'd played, just before Rodgers left, it was the Motherwell game. That was his last game. And like Brownie wasn't playing, and I was captain. It was the first game I'd played in a while. And I felt alright, like I was nowhere near 100%. Felt alright, and I was like, right, sound. And I wasn't supposed to play the Hearts game because I was midweek, so I was supposed to play the Hibs game next week, so I could only do one game a week. And like Lennon came in, he's like, we need you to play, like this is a big game for us. And I was like, obviously I'll play, like my legs are absolutely done. But I'm playing, like 100%. Played the Hearts game, I was only supposed to play like 60. Like 90 minutes, like, cause the way the game was gone, like you couldn't take half a left back, like. And then I said, right, hopefully a wee week rest, 2 days Hibs, and like see when we were going a walk around the hotel before Hibs, I was like, oh cramp, like I was done, mate.
It's
like,
the worst feeling, mate.
That's the worst.
So you're feeling something?
I couldn't do core or sit-ups or nothing because everything in here was done, man. Like it was horrible. The worst time of my life, mate.
See, when you were talking about, you heard the people talk about like, the retirement talks. Did you start to think that a wee bit?
It creeped in, aye. Aye.
Mate.
Is it true that to fix it you just had to shave your pubes?
Why did I even say that?
Aye, mate.
That's my story, rude.
See that injury, I think I had
It's a
something
killer,
similar
mate,
to
it
that.
is.
And I remember going to see, I think it was like the old physio Kamal, Alec, and he just said basically to get rid of that osteitis pubis, they'd come up with an idea of just releasing the inguinal ligament, just take the tension off your pubis.
Aye.
And but that's horrific because you feel like you can't get out of bed in the morning because it's so sore. Try to do a sit up, you're constantly just.
But yours was sore there because it had so much to hold up on it.
Calm down, son. No, you're right, but retirement, like obviously, it's at the back of your mind, but you're not thinking about that.
No, it's just a wee. Because people text me like, you're not retiring, are you? And I'm like, hopefully no. Like, and then the end of that season, I never played at all. I played a few more games, and I was playing Aberdeen when we won the league up there. I was like, I think I phoned Bruni or something. I'm like, Bruni, I can't get out of bed, mate. Like, how am I going to play today? Like, we need to win the league today, and like, I'm starting. Like, what am I going to do? I could only run like 30-40% of my speed. And he's like, oh, you'll be fine. You know what Bruni's like, man? Bruni would play through it. I know Bruni plays through anything. I said, yeah, obviously I'll play. I'll try it. And then the game started. I was just keeping the ball so easy, mate. I couldn't run by anybody. And I was hoping nobody was trying to run by me or they were getting brought down. And then I think it was 2-0, we were up 2-0. And Yozo scored and I was like, I'm just lying down. I think I lay down for like 5 minutes and I went, no, I'm going to try again. Like, I knew the crowd there, I was lying down in front of the crowd and they were keeping me going. And then like 2 minutes later I was just dead, mate. Dead on my feet. I'd never experienced anything like it, so I couldn't do anything. And then I was coming off the pitch and I turned around to the Celtic fans, mate, I clapped them for like 30 seconds. I'm like, this is my last game this season, like, I'm going to miss the final. I knew it myself. I'm like, I'm not going to be ready for this. Like, I was gutted coming off that day. And then, because I wanted the operation, it was a hernia and everything. I was like, I can't get the operation, and there was no space for me. So I had to try and keep playing through it. And then, like, the week of the final, I got interviewed, and like, I am hopefully going to play. And like the day before the final, they're like, we're not fit enough. Like,
fans didn't see stuff like that, mate. Taking injections, playing through like that.
Mate, and that is the worst feeling. See when you're carrying an injury, trying to play. Mate, it just plays with your mind. That's the night before, not trying to sleep.
And see, like, not like we injuries, if it's like a bad dead leg or something, saying you're a sprained ankle and that, but see this one, it was like in your mind. You used to be able to tell if your pubis was seared just the way you put your trousers on your boxers. Like, that's agony just the way I'm lifting. Imagine.
Did you meet surgeons in that day?
Mate, I flew out of the world, mate. I was in Denmark and London, Germany.
How did you get fixed?
Time was the only thing that fixed me, man. Aye, the only thing, mate. Like, we tried exercises, and the exercise obviously helped, but 18 months, I'm just doing it, round about the now.
Oh, they talk of men like Pelé and the good CBO, and even Stanley Matthews, who played so long ago. Why, you sing it in the motor, you don't sing it now?
Nervous, mate, it's cameras, isn't it? No,
they talk about the Belfast boy, we George was second best. But Johan Cruyff not on your life, we... Fuck's sake.
What song's that?
We Jinky song.
Is it?
Brilliant.
He always sings that, man.
Brilliant, that's all I've got in the locker, innit?
On the guitar, you know, sing that guitar.
Are you kidding me? That guitar?
You should have brought it. Looking back as a fan, playing with the most historic era of the club's history, how proud are you of that?
Very, mate, but I think it'll be when I'm retired and all that, I'll start to realise like, what we've done. I think it'll be the same for everybody at the club, like how successful it was, and it's like, trebles were the norm in the end. Like, it's mental.
That's mental, I think, isn't it?
Mental, like, you need to win everything gone, and that's just crazy. Like,
have you got a favourite memory of that time?
Just being involved, mate. Like, it's hard to pick a game, but probably the Rangers winning the league, like at Celtic Park, 5-0, was probably the best game. Like,
and then all the boys over at Tenerife, every single player.
Aye, every player, every staff, like players at the back, staff in the front, everybody blotto. That was good, man.
What, Brendan Osborne went to Tenerife as well?
Aye.
What, was he sitting with the trunks on?
No, I don't know, man. Like, it was still a training camp, but we had like 2 days out to start with.
And good's that?
I loved an end of season trip, so yeah.
What, there was a training camp after you'd won the treble? You still had to train?
No, it was the league we'd won, so the treble that was still to come, man. Aye.
See, what was I going to say there? What a point I had, I know. No, see, I think when you left, are we going on to that side? Aye,
just him leaving.
So when you left, I think when Larsson left, I will say to you, and that's, I think since Larsson, you were the biggest, as in the fans taking to you. I think maybe in between was maybe Nakamura they loved, but I certainly think for Larsson, you were the closest to the fans absolutely loving. And when you left, it was more like when Larsson left, you were heartbroken because I.
Do you remember where you were when you heard he left?
Larsson?
No, Tierney. If Larsson was sitting in a dash, you'd be.
I don't know where I was. I think I was at the game actually.
Everybody found out when we were Celtic playing away in the Champions League. Yeah. I found out when I was doing the mates, down the park with my mates.
And you got slaughtered for it because the Celtic were playing or something?
Aye, and I was like, no, I found out before you did. Like, I found out before the Celtic game well kicked off. Yeah. So they're like, oh, you were down the park, but your Celtic were playing. I'm like, no, the plan was go down the backs, train with the team, and then go to the pub and watch a game. Right. And also,
was that the hardest decision of your life?
Oh, aye. Like, it was sickening.
How long did it take you to decide? Weeks?
Mate, I don't know, the interest was there for at the start of the window. Right. In the full time, I'm like, I don't think it'll happen. Like, it is what it is. Like, it wasn't as if I was like pressuring the agent, make this happen. Like, it is what it is. And I think in the end, everybody just agreed. Like, they're getting 25 million for somebody that's kind of cost them nothing. Like, I gave everything I could, man. Like, in the end, I kind of done myself out with injuries and that. And I'd do it all again, every bit of it. But it was sad the way it ended, man. See, like people turning and all that. Like, it's not what everybody. Some people make it out to be what it's not, and it's not that at all. Like,
see, when you knew it was happening, so it was definitely done. Were you shitting yourself for it to be announced?
Aye, like you'd seen, like, but the weeks before, mate. See when Arsenal had bids, people were like, you're a rat. Like, if you go here, like you're terrible. Like, you're never a Celtic fan and all that. I'm like, this is breaking my heart, mate, like reading this, and like as soon as this gets announced, it's just going to get, it's just blew up, mate. Like, And the worst thing I done when I get announced was going Twitter, man.
Oh, man.
Nightmares, mate, honestly, like.
Well, how many messages are we talking about? Thousands?
Thousand, mate. It was just like mere tweets and like threats and all sorts, mate. See, when I went home, like 2 days later, at a sign I came home, there was like spray paint where I was and all that, like Judas and all that, mate. Like outside my bit, aye.
Shocking.
What did you do that for? What did you do Judas? What about this? But do you remember your last day?
My last day at Celtic? I was me and Tom Rodgers were injured, so just in the gym, and he's like, "Is it happening?" I'm like, "I don't think so, mate." Like, and I was looking at flats and all that, and like round about my area, 'cause I was moving out. Like, I was thinking about moving out, and I'd went with my mum and my mate, and I'd just go and see this place, go and see that. This was like the day before, a couple of days before, and then I told everybody like, "This is off, it's not happening," and I got a call saying like, "Aye, Celtic have said that you can go, like this is what they want, they've got what they want for you," and all that. And I was like, right, sound. And that's when I was like down the park. I was just mental, mate, like a pure blur. Like, then I was on the flight, like near enough greeting to my agent. I'm like, what's happening here? Like, I'm getting it stinking. Like, this is going to be like my family's life forever. Just me knowing as a pure, what these people are making me out to be, and they don't know half it. You know what I mean? Like, they just assume everything and they don't know what.
Have you been back to a game?
No, I mean, I'm scared, Like,
are you scared of going back?
I don't know, like.
Don't be scared.
People do love it. That's what I said at the time. Listen, the Judas thing, the majority do, mate, I think it was maybe just, it was like Larson. I remember being to see Larson when he came back to Celtic, mate, and people were booing him, mate. He put me Barca, do you know what I mean? So, mate, I think, I would love more than anything is, and I think it would only be right for me and you to lift the trophy for 10 in a row.
Do you think they'll do 10 in a row?
Aye. Just the winning mentality they've got to now, mate. Like, everybody's so focused on it, and you can actually talk about it this season. You can't talk about it when you've started winning 8 or 9, but you can talk about it this season. And I just think like it's such a good team, mate. Like, they're better at it, mate. Like, they've got.
No, they're not.
They reinvested.
Absolutely not.
Mate,
Terrible
think
point.
about it though. They reinvested the money so good. They've got great players everywhere, and that's what I'm saying. It was a good deal for Celtic to sell me. So.
Think Arsenal signed Bolly?
Obviously leaving your boyhood team, but the lure at Arsenal just too big a club.
Mate, aye, Arsenal are massive, and I think everybody knows that. Like, it's one of the biggest teams in the world, worldwide. Like, you go far east and there's hundreds of Arsenal fans. And
Stadium, that's amazing as well, isn't it?
it's brilliant, mate. It's honestly, and you realise when you're down there, it's so big as well. Like, you're going at the stadium and there's like thousands and thousands of people waiting at the training ground and all, and just there's a massive club. And since I went down, I was like homesick. I was struggling at the start, and everybody there was like, "Oh, we'll help you. You'll settle in." And everybody's been brilliant. Like, you can't ask any more for a club when you move, because they probably think like, I was thinking like, I'm going down there and it's all like these superstars, mate. I'm like, I'm not just going to settle in and like join in. Like, I'm going to be a bit different. It's going to take me time, and because it's not like I'm London life. Like, I just my normal life, and it was hard to settle in away from my family, away from my mates. Like, it was hard, but it's been a massive club, mate. Like, it's
because see, even like the training ground and like the people behind the scenes, I bet you it's all top class stuff, isn't it?
Unbelievable. That's what I was going to come on the training ground.
Physios and all that.
Yeah, the physios. Like, as soon as I went there, they're like that to me. Like, there's no rush when you're ready. Because the medical, mate. So I was like, I'm going to feel this medical, man. I'm going to, because the retirement thing's always in your head. Like, my groins are still done in. Like, I don't know if it's any better. Like, so am I going to pass this? Am I going to feel like? And I think when we go there, like, the physio's like, no, you'll be fine. Like, don't worry about it. You'll pass, we'll get you right. It doesn't matter if it's 1 month, 2 months, like, we'll get you right. We've signed you for a long term, like, we're buzzing to have you. Like, I'm like, this has just made me at ease. And that's the physio I was close to. Like, that's who I posted about the other day, leaving to go to Liverpool. He was brilliant to me. And
so he went to Liverpool, has he? I seen he was leaving, that's when he went to Liverpool?
His family were for Liverpool and he used to be there, so he went back. But he's brilliant. And as I said, massive club, and the board and that. See, like, I never spoke to the board at Celtic too much, because you just think the board and players, do they speak? Like, I don't know how the connection is. What do I call them? Do I call them sir? Like, I'm just a wee guy. What do you call these people, man? Like, you're scared to say by their first name, but like, they're always phoning me asking if I'm alright, if I want to go for dinner, like, if I'm settled in, is everybody fine? Who's doing with me? Like, do you need anything? And I was like, I can't ask for any more. Like, they've been brilliant. I mean, the fans down there have been brilliant as well. Like, they just took to me like straight away.
I know, it's mad how much I love you, mate, innit? See on Twitter, it's...
I know, Twitter, you always seen a Saturday night, if he's played well, which is nearly every week, trending, Kieran Tierney.
Tierney, I know.
See as well, but mate, we're talking about, see as an individual and as a player, you want to be the best, then going down to like the Premier League, challenging yourself every week, fit with Arsenal. I mean, you're going to be going up against like Klopp, Guardiola, no fucking
What, do they play
Brian
right
Rice.
wing? Do they play right wing? Klopp and Guardiola play right wing?
That's
Klopp step
getting on.
No, but I mean, as in, like,
No, they're teams, mate.
You're going so you, and then instead he's Big Chipper at Hamlet's team. No, but mate, like, you know. Mate, even mate, but Brian Rice, but even you play done me, man. Mate, you're playing left back, mate, and you turn around, you see Chipper stoning you like that. Ah, mate. Wouldn't you be like, mate, get me away from here now, man? Do you know what I mean? Chipper standing there. Mate, do you know what I mean? Like, I like Chipper, mate, be like that.
I like Chipper.
Klopp and Guardiola, mate, and even like Arteta, and then you're just sucking Chipper. But mate, that's turned into a shambles, but my whole point would be, mate, is...
you need to challenge yourself, innit?
You need to challenge yourself to the very best. How can you go, as I say, how can you go home every week and you play... I mean, I say that
Say Chipper again, please.
But mate, see with the... You're playing against like Motherwell, Hamilton 4 times out. I mean, no disrespect to them, but as an individual, if you want to be the best left back in the world, then you need to go and challenge yourself with these teams every single week. And you've done it for years at Celtic, so you've then took the next step to become the best and play against the best. And mate, that's what you've got to do. I mean, like Man City players, and mate, what a like over that.
And what the point of that was that
you need to challenge yourself.
How have you found it in the Premiership? Is it tough?
Aye, very, mate. So it's like every game in Scotland's hard, but hard for a different reason. Like, so Celtic at home would be hard to maybe break down this team because they're solid, but like down there it's like you're going to be up against everybody's right winger is unreal. But he's fast, he's good. And
who's hard to play against down there?
Down there.
who you thought wow when you caught
Nobody's done you for that. I'm not just saying that.
Good, mate.
Oh, aye.
Who is?
Him,
Alfie Wolves.
Mate, he always used to sell up, didn't he?
Aye.
CBD.
CBD, didn't he?
So I would say him, mate, 100%. Like,
Is he, huh?
oh, wow. Like, once he gets gone, like, you know where he's gone, and you're not showing him that way, he'll just flick out of your foot and go that way. Like, there's no stopping him. You just basically need to defend the box. He's going to get crosses in against anybody.
Liverpool, what about them as a team?
Aye, they were good. They were good, mate. Them and Man City.
Can I ask you this? What, has Arteta made you a better player?
Aye.
Does he come to you and say, I think you can improve on this?
Technically and tactically. Like, see, my tactical awareness and like technical ability, like, it's just, I've always kind of played as if I was just playing on the street kind of thing and no thought too much about who should be going, but he's like drilled it in, man, so every day. And Rodgers did and Dyla did, but with him it's like, you need to, because if you're caught out of one wee position, it's a goal, man. Like, he says in the Premier League, if you make one mistake, you might be lucky, but if you make two mistakes, it's a goal. Like, you don't get second chances, and it's so hard, mate. Like, every day in training makes me better. Like, I was a better player just like coming up against like Pepe and Martinelli and learning how to deal with these players. Like, because there comes this time where like my pace isn't going to be enough. Like, they're just as fast, they're just as strong, so I'm going to need to be better on the ball. I'm going to be more switched on what to do with the ball and all that, and I think down here I've learned a lot already.
See, see when I obviously when I got into the Premiership many years ago, I was in awe of the people that I was playing against, right? You've obviously talked about being in awe, becoming a Celtic player, that was your team. Do you have that down there when you come up against like a Man City, a Man U, and you see players that you've maybe watched growing up and think, fucking hell, they're so-and-so? That's a stupid question, but I just want to see if it's no just me. You get pure giddy when you think, fucking hell, there's De Bruyne or
even my
else.
teamates, mate, I signed the same day as David Luiz, man. And like, he like followed me on Instagram, I'm like, oof, like, this guy had 20 million followers and like, he knows who I'm like, I'm just a wee guy, isn't he?
Mate, people slaughter him, like, but he's won so many trophies. Is he a top player?
He's a winner. Like, one of the people in the world that says a winner, a born winner, like,
is he,
won everything. And he was saying to me, like, during the season, when we were doing bad, he's like, we're going to win silverware this year. He's like, believe me. He's like, whether it's we're still in Europe at times, like whether it's Europe or the FA Cup, he's like, we're going to win a trophy. He's like, we just need everybody to believe, like, and he's all about belief and like motivational speeches and all that. So he would stand up and talk.
Does he in the dressing room?
And when he talks, everybody listens, man. Like, he's quality.
It's
Nice to hear that, because I think he's been given too much of a hard time.
Mate,
because
people on Twitter slaughtering me.
I know.
But he's brave, he's brave. Like, listen, he does make mistakes, but he's brave to take the ball in there.
See,
other people just kick it away.
He says to me, like, I remember one game that I didn't have my best game, and we maybe I think we actually drew, but we obviously should be winning. It was a home game, and he's like, don't worry, like, I'm the big name, I'll take the pressure and all that. Like, and I was just sitting there like, this is one of my first games. It's all went wrong, like the fans are on us, we're not doing well. He's like, don't worry about it, like, you just keep playing your football and I'll take the heat and all that.
Mate, and Piers Morgan tweets you all the time, doesn't he?
Aye, he does. Slaney always shows me. Aye, he always does.
Does he follow you on Twitter?
Aye, he followed me, I went down. Followed him back, man, but aye, that's mad, isn't it?
Have you got any other celebrity fans, Arsenal?
Conor McGregor's, he's fucking
what about McGregor? Tell us about that. How did that come about?
Jamie getting out there, just for invite, bro. We'll get Jamie in for a wee shot.
If he wants to, mate, but I don't think he wants to.
So you went out to Conor McGregor's?
No, I went to his fight, mate. He got his tickets and that for his fight.
How did that all come
about? It came about, like, I was the fanboy, mate, so I was pure obsessed with everything he'd done, man. I followed him, and like, see if he'd like tagged his mates or something in an Instagram post, I'd be like, follow them and all.
Follow the mates,
hoping they'd follow me back and all that. And then one time the mates get in touch, like, oh, we would love a shirt and so would Conor. And I was like, right, that's amazing. Like, Conor didn't follow me this time, I never spoke to him. I started buzzing, man, delighted. I text my mate Jamie, I was like, look at this, man. So I sent him a shirt, and never once would I think, like, he's going to wear this or put it on and put it on his Insta and tag me and that. I was like, he'll probably not get it. Like, his mates are probably just asking for themselves. But fair play to mates, they gave him it. And his photographer took pictures of me and he put it up, and then he followed me. And I messaged him like, thanks so much for following, I'm your biggest fan ever, man. Pure fanboy stuff, man, pure weirdo stuff. He's like, thanks for the shirt, I'm a big fan of yours as well, always be rooting for you. And I speak, like, now and then, like, I don't speak to him a lot, like, I'll message him now and then if something's happened. And when I went to Arsenal, man, he was heavy buzzing for me. He's like, congrats on the move. But before it, he's like, I seen your link to Arsenal and that. He's like, what a big move and all that.
That's amazing.
And then he messaged me, like, and I messaged him saying that I'd love to come to a fight and all that. Then I got in touch with people who work for him and all that, and they sorted it out, and I was in like his party after it, man. It was a joke, mate. Man,
you went to a party with him?
His after party, aye.
That's what you need to get in
there. You're feeling it.
Look at his face, he's feeling it.
He's feeling that.
But he mentions you didn't be when he done his thing in Russia.
Kieran Tierney.
Kieran. That's right.
He's a legend, mate. And that's the wee things that helped me, because I was injured, I was homesick, and I just seen that, I'm like, oh, that gave me some buzz. And
when did you get over the homesickness? When you started playing and doing well?
Aye, maybe just after lockdown. Then I was aiming during lockdown for like 6 weeks, and then I mentally prepared myself to go back down, because it was like, I think I got obviously accepted the accepted Wednesday, I signed Thursday, and I'd moved out, but I didn't know anything. But see, having these 6 weeks, like, I know what I'm going down to, I'm going to be back fit, and then just playing helps different. See, as long as you're playing, mate, doesn't it? Like, you want to win, you want to play, but see if you're playing, it just takes a lot of the problems away. Aye, so.
And you're flying now. Tremendous to see, mate.
Ashley Cole was pure brave. That's the best person you could get.
How good's he? How good was he?
He was world class. Actually,
he's one of the best left backs I've ever seen.
The best compliment you got was for this man calling you world class, because he doesn't throw compliments out. You don't throw it out.
He is, mate. He is definitely.
Thanks very much.
Right, is that us? Perfect, lads. That was amazing.
That's amazing, mate.